So what is it about this couple in particular that stands out from others in the genre?
Well, for me, I think this couple is not the couple that you would expect to be in a forbidden romance. So for me, it kind of gave a element of mystery to the book and a nice surprise in terms of reading.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tales of Our Times. This is a show where we discuss the stories that move us, what makes them so meaningful, and why others could or should find meaning in them as well. This is not a spoiler-free show, so bear that in mind as you continue to listen. We tackle movies, books, podcasts, and more. Where there's a story, there's a reason to read. I'm your host, Amanda Stevens, and you're joining us during our summer special, Spicy Summer, where we take a microscope to different elements of the romance genre to try to understand what keeps it so enduringly popular. This month, we're looking at different relationship archetypes, with today's special being the forbidden romance archetype. I admit, one of my favorites as well. Here to walk us through what all of that means is today's guest. You've heard her, you love her, Kris St. Amour Denis.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Amanda.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me again today. I'm so glad to be here.
I'm really excited because the last time that you were here, we talked about a book that was set up like a romance book and actually was a thriller.
Yes.
And I even forgot like halfway, not even halfway, like 1/3 through that it was in fact a thriller. Mm-hmm. So I am excited to hear what the actual dedicated romance book that you have picked for today is. But before that, is there anything else that you would like to say to introduce yourself?
Sure. If your listeners are meeting me for the first time today, I would like to say hi to everybody. I'm Christine. I'm from Montreal, Canada, and I've been living in Taipei for 2 years now. I'm a bookish girly, and I co-host a silent reading group with Taipei Mindful Gatherings every month around Taipei City.
Yeah, it's a really wonderful event. I really like going there. So now on to the book itself, because I think there's going to be a lot to talk about in it, at least 7 different things to talk about in it.
Yes.
What book have you brought for us today?
For this Spicy Summer edition, I wanted to talk about my top read of 2025 so far this year, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. It was a very, very popular on Goodreads and a lot of bookish TikToks and Instagrams last year. And so obviously I wanted to pick it up and see for myself, is it all it's hyped up to be?
So you brought this up as a good example of the forbidden romance archetype, which maybe one of the most famous genres or examples might be Romeo and Juliet, which I'm hoping to talk about later this month.
Oh, that would be fun.
But the name says a lot of what it is, right? These two people want to be in love, but through circumstance or perhaps through family drama or distance, like all kinds of things might forbid the romance.
Yeah.
It can be anything that stops you would qualify as a forbidden romance.
Oh, I like that definition. Yeah.
That's what I think of it as, right? Like it can be anything that is trying to stop you from love, whether that's people or something
other
else.
Circumstances.
Yeah, time, distance. Okay.
That's good.
Do you think that this is a good description of what we can look forward to in this story?
I think it is, because there definitely are circumstances that the reader doesn't become aware of in terms of the forbidden romance trope between Evelyn and her true love.
The one who wins out at the end of this.
Yes, exactly. So I think your definition really lends to the fact that on the surface, we have the idea of what love is, and, it's something that obviously two people want to have a back and forth kind of feeling about, to have that in love moment.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times, like, there's other elements at play that, you realize growing up as an adult that it takes specific circumstances to work, right? To actually fall in love with somebody.
And sometimes the stars are not aligned.
Exactly.
So,
we shall see that.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I'm so excited. I think I just kind of want to get into it. So could you give us a summary of The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo?
Okay. So when we start off this novel, the reader's introduced to a reporter named Monique Grant, and she works at this magazine called Vivant. and she is contacted by Evelyn Hugo to write Evelyn Hugo's biography. And when she meets with Evelyn, Evelyn specifically tells her that this biography is only to be published after her death. She's like in her 70s.
Okay, so she's quite old at this point.
Well, what's super special about Evelyn is that she was a movie star. So we don't really understand why Evelyn would choose to have
Monique
write her story. So Evelyn recants how she grew up in a poor Spanish family living in Hell's Kitchen. And Evelyn knew she was beautiful and that she could use her beauty to her advantage. So at 14, she marries a man that she knows from the neighborhood, husband number 1, aka Poor Ernie Diaz. She tells him, I'm being abused at home. And obviously that motivates him to move to LA with her. She goes to Hollywood and she's actually discovered by this big Hollywood producer. His name's Harry Cameron. And they actually become friends. And during her transformation from Evelyn Elena Herrera, her
real name,
her
real
birth
name at least.
Yeah, and that's when she becomes Evelyn Hugo. Yeah.
Okay.
So obviously once that happens, she's like, okay, Ernie, thank you very much.
Goodbye,
and
Ernie
goodbye.
Diaz. Yeah.
She divorces him. And so she kind of latches on to her producer friend Harry as like a support system. But they are genuinely friends.
They're just friends. Okay.
She starts starring in various films. And in one of them, she meets husband number 2, a.k.a. the...
Gosh darn,
Don Adler. Okay, so Don Adler at the time is the most famous male actor in showbiz.
Old money, old Hollywood money.
Exactly. So as Evelyn's star power rises, though, Don becomes really jealous. He starts drinking heavily, and he becomes verbally and physically abusive to Evelyn. At the same time, Evelyn meets Celia St. James, and she co-stars alongside her in the movie Little Women. And that's what gives her her big break. Like that's how she and Dawn kind of become at the same level of stardom.
Okay.
And during the initial casting for Little Women, Evelyn is told by her actor friend Ruby that Celia might be gay. Like there's all these rumors swirling around the tabloids and around Hollywood about, Celia's sexuality. She doesn't make much of the rumors. Evelyn comes to respect Celia as an actor, and she truly admires her ability to be her authentic self.
Professionally and personally impressed by the skill and gravitas of this other woman, Celia, who she's met.
So the film premieres, and Evelyn now confronts Celia, and they actually share a secret, intimate kiss. That same night, she catches Dawn cheating on her at their home. And then is like, you know what? Maybe I do have feelings for Celia. I'm going to leave Dawn for her. To avoid this kind of career suicide, she runs away to France with Celia. So she can act in films directed by this man named Max Girard, who she had met in Hollywood when she originally arrived, like around the time she had met Harry Cameron. So in Europe, Evelyn and Celia are happy together, but they do have to keep their relationship a secret from the public. Celia really starts to resent this, but then when a rumor hits the tabloids about them, Evelyn orchestrates this speedy relationship with a U.S. rock star, husband number 3, a.k.a. gullible Mick Riva. Soon after, Evelyn actually finds out that she's pregnant with Mick's baby. Mick and her talk about it, and then she has to admit they consummated the marriage. And this is a huge catalyst for their separation because Celia just can't accept that Evelyn is bisexual. Yeah. So they break up, and they actually don't have any contact for the next 5 years. Evelyn, she decides that she's going to go back to Hollywood. She divorces Mick, and then she decides to marry her Anna Karenina co-star, husband number 4, a.k.a. clever Rex North. While Celia actually goes ahead and marries a quarterback called John Braverman. But Rex actually has a little bit of kerfuffle because he impregnates another woman.
Does Evelyn Hugo have a child?
Not yet.
Oh.
And so Evelyn spins a story to the tabloids about how she was having an affair with Harry Cameron, who is also gay and dating Celia's husband.
That's her manager. Okay. she's like, I was actually having an affair with my manager, wink, wink. Yeah. And that's the biggest problem here is that we are all heteros.
Yeah, exactly.
Cheating on each other for sure.
Yeah. But it, like the tabloids are obviously going to eat this up. It really does save her reputation. So Evelyn and Harry then decide to speak to John and Celia, right? Yeah. Because Evelyn is married to Harry and Celia is married to John. John and Harry are stupping.
Yeah.
And so now they can all pose as hetero. It lets them be happy together. So they all end up living in New York together for years. And then later on, Evelyn and Harry decide to have a baby together. So they name her Connor.
Okay.
In terms of Evelyn's career, she takes on a new role with her ex-husband, Don Adler. And in that role, there is an XXX scene, right? Yeah. So Evelyn now has to tell Celia again, like she can't accept this.
Yeah.
But Evelyn, she goes through with it.
Yeah.
Behind Celia's back. And when Celia finds out about it, she leaves again.
Yeah.
Now, Evelyn's looking for another kind of support system that she can kind of hide behind because, yeah, her and Harry kind of have a baby, but he's doing his own job. She's doing her own job. So she decides, why not? Time for husband number 6, a.k.a. disappointing Max Girard.
Wow. So it does not work out well for these guys.
Well, her and Harry, they divorce, but they stay friends.
Yeah, of course.
Because they have a baby together anyway, right?
Well, so and also, it wasn't like they were ever really in love. So it's like, hey, sorry, I want to have a romantic relationship with someone else. And like, oh, okay, well, then we'll just divorce, I guess.
And if you've been following all the line of characters now, Max Girard is the French director.
Yes. The one who was like, come to France, please.
Please be my muse in France. You're so beautiful.
Now, my wife.
And now I am back.
And I'm disappointing.
Yeah. Ta-da. Well, she quickly realizes that Max was really only ever in love with her as a sex symbol movie star.
Yeah.
So she leaves him, but
not as a
she still stays married to him for 6 years.
So number 7.
So Evelyn, after this marriage, learns through the tabloids that Celia's husband, John, has died of a heart attack. And so they reconcile, but they discover that Celia has terminal emphysema.
Oh, great.
And Celia, of course, asks Evelyn to marry her brother so that they can spend her final days together, a.k.a. agreeable Robert Jameson. They plan on moving away to Spain, but before they move away, Harry suggests that he and his lover also move to Spain with them so that there can be a guise for them being together in Spain.
Sure. Yeah, basically sort of recreating the quadruplet from before.
Yeah, exactly. And so Evelyn's like, let me think about it and then I'll come talk to you again.
Yeah.
And so when she goes to speak to Harry, she finds Harry severely wounded via a car accident and his dead lover is in the passenger seat. And she knows that if the cops arrive on the scene, that he's going to be convicted of drunk driving. So she decides to move the passenger into the driver's seat. She swaps them out.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, once the cops arrive and Harry's taken to the hospital, he dies. So Celia and Evelyn and Robert all move to Spain to live out Celia's final days. And then Celia dies at 61. And then her brother dies just a few years later.
Dang.
Yeah. So now in the denouement of the story, Evelyn reveals to Monique Grant, right, the reporter that she's been telling her whole life story to, that Harry's lover was in fact Monique's father.
So this is why Monique was chosen.
Yeah. And so then Evelyn reveals that the other reason that she wanted to write this biography is because she is dying of breast cancer, which is what her daughter Connor had died of.
Dang.
And then she kind of hints that, you'll be able to publish this very, very soon. And it's going to make you a lot of money. So Monique kind of pieces together that Evelyn is giving her this story because she's planning on killing herself before the cancer gets to her. And so there's kind of a struggle because Monique has an opportunity to stop Evelyn from going through with it, but she decides to let her have that choice.
So then is that how the story ends, where Monique just sort of says like goodbye and thank you?
Yeah, the forbidden love. But when I found out, I was shook. Like, because Anyway, I'll let us keep rolling on because
it sounds like it's definitely a zag on you when you're looking at the title and you're starting this whole story. It's a real zag.
Yeah.
So we do have to move on, but now that we know the story, I want to ask you, in what ways do you think that it really exemplifies or differs from the typical forbidden romance archetype or genre?
As you just said, right, the novel is not promoted as an LGBTQIA plus story.
Yeah.
So there's definitely kind of that hoodwinked moment that the reader gets. And I really liked the element of mystery for the reader in terms of the storyline, like who are the 7 husbands going to be? How's that going to go down? And also from Monique's point of view. And then I think some of the ways that it exemplifies it is, there is that forbidden love, as we talked about in the beginning, like by society at large, but also by the film industry, because we've seen this in real life. Like I've heard about it with some really big prominent stars like during the black and white film era, that it's man, woman in movies, right? Like that's what is acceptable and that's what is expected.
Or if it's not made public, we'll all just pretend that we don't know.
Exactly. Right? So it's always about like those who choose to be themselves and those who hide, acting in movies, but also acting in real life.
Yeah, never really being, I guess, and that being the central tension in this like forbidden romance between her and Celia of like she wants to be more authentic, but she also does get married for, I guess, at that point, political necessity. Exactly. Like you need to have someone around who can help you do things.
And there's already so many rumors about Celia from the beginning when she is introduced as a character. She could potentially lose everything that she's worked for.
Also, at this point, I feel like women couldn't even have like their own bank accounts and stuff like that. Or at least it was difficult in the United States. Like there were a whole bunch of things like this where it's like, it is also just convenient in terms of like if you want to hold on to your money or if you want people to take you seriously.
Definitely.
Even if you're a star, you might need a man.
Yeah.
And that sucks if you're in a woman-woman relationship because then now society doesn't have any authority figure in your relationship. We are almost out of time. But why would you recommend The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo? And do you think that it should still be recognized as a tale of our time?
Oh, absolutely. I would recommend The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo to everybody because it isn't your typical romance. It's not what you expect, right? It includes elements of mystery and it plays on the topic of self-discovery, self-acceptance, or rejection of your true self,
Right, both. Well, I guess it's that struggle of self-acceptance, right?
Exactly.
Like that's the problem. It's like very rarely for people is that self-acceptance like immediate and known deeply. A lot more often it's something like this where you're struggling between like who you want to be. For her, I would say Evelyn's biggest desire is to be Evelyn Hugo. But then how to reconcile that with like where her heart wants to go, which is to be openly in love with Celia.
You hit the nail on the head for sure. And I think it should definitely be recognized as a tale of our time because understanding how people were segregated in the past is really pivotal in tearing down biases for future generations and understanding that you don't have to have it all figured out. Evelyn certainly doesn't. Like, she has that veneer of perfection, but she really struggles internally as to who she truly wants to be. And is that okay to be bisexual?
Well, and I think something you said to that effect, not only did these things really happen, but the ways in which they were like disguised in plain sight. LGBT people have always existed.
Of course,
right? But they were just married to other people.
Yeah.
Like they had to exist by a certain set of rules so that they had the social mobility to participate in society, right?
And, we're not fully free. Like people are still constrained in all different parts of the world. So it's important to just understand that everybody's going to have moments of struggle and not feeling like they belong or that they're accepted. But it's through knowing and understanding and learning about the stories that we can help ourselves and other people.
So unfortunately, we're out of time.
Aww.
But if you could give The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo a subtitle of your very own, what would that be?
The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Not your typical romance.
Not your typical romance. I love it. And thank you so much for joining us here on Radio Taiwan International during our spicy summer version of Tales of Our Time. I'm your host, Amanda Stevens, with my wonderful returning guest,
Kris. Bye, everybody. Thank you for listening. So glad you could join us.
I hope you enjoyed learning about The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, not your typical romance, a tale of our time. And we'll see you next time.